first of all, FlixBus. Yeah, I'm happy to see so many faces and welcome you to our second ResearchOps meetup. First of all, I just want to give you an overview about our today's agenda. I will give like a little intro into ResearchOps, and then Anna will talk about UX maturity, also just a little intro. And then we dive into today's talk by FlixBus about fast forward with research. By Luky, I heard Katja unfortunately can't make it today, Carolina and Pietro. We also will have a short Q&A after the talk, and then we have discussions. We will have up to 5 groups in the corners. We will describe it later, and then we can talk about UX maturity and your own organization. And then we have in the end a little preview about our next event. And latest by 10 we need to leave this place. And of course you will have some mingling after the discussions. So that's us. So we have Katja, then Anna, then we have Nikki, I saw over there, and Lisa in the back, and me, Judith. And we're the ResearchOps Berlin team. And in case you were questioning what is ResearchOps, that's not so easy, but there's this nice definition that I will read out now, awkwardly, but research is the mechanisms and strategies that set user research into motion. It provides the roles, tools, and processes needed to support researchers in delivering and scaling the impact of the craft across an organization. So actually, in the narrow definition, ResearchOps is not research. It's about supporting research. It's about the infrastructure of research. Like, for example, recruiting, all the tools and everything to support researchers. And but actually, it's so new, and I mean we're happy we see user research is growing quickly, but this ResearchOps is very new, and there is like only, I would say, a few organizations who have implemented ResearchOps, and my impression, especially in Germany, ResearchOps or user research in generally is a little bit behind what is happening in the Anglo-Saxon world. And so most user researchers are doing operations at the moment. And only, as said, only a few are doing solely ResearchOps. So I'm wondering, like, is there anyone who's like mainly doing ResearchOps? Anyone? Raise your hands. Yeah. Yeah. Great, at least. And I would be also interested in, I will first sum it up, like who is mainly conducting user research, who is like partly conducting user research, for example, UX designers, and who is only or is less part of user research, for example, product managers. So who of you is mainly conducting user research? Great. And who is like, partly conducting user research? And who is less conducting user research, like product managers? Okay. It's great to have also this mix here, because this community is about sharing and of course also growing user research and the profession around it. And there is, why we're doing it is, as I said, we want to share our experience and knowledge. We want to get to know each other, and there is like a global community, and we want to, of course, have the conversations here face to face, but also connect to this global community. and improve the awareness of research ops. Because, yeah, user researchers are doing so much more than just research. And yeah, if we want to grow user research, we need to grow also the attention for research ops. And if you're wondering, there is this international community. I don't know how many of you have heard about that Slack channel, because that's at the moment like where most of this community is taking place. You just go to that link. We will share the slides later, so you can have a look again. And there's a Slack community, and about once a month, 100 up to 150 people can join the Slack community. And there's also this presentation on Medium, where we have, for example, a wrap-up from the last Meetup here and everything that is happening in the international community. It's like no one really owns this at the moment. It's like all people who are doing this do this voluntarily. And yeah, and last but not least, there's also this Twitter account. And we also have community guidelines, so you can read them also on our Meetup page. And at the moment, I just want to share these, that we also refer to the Chapman House rules. That is, that you're free to use the information you receive here, especially during the discussions, but refrain from like sharing the name of that person or the affiliation of that person. You know, so let's keep the especially sensitive information here in this room. So this is the last thing I wanted to add. And now I head over to Anne.
Okay, first of all, really great to see so much interest in UX maturity, and you might all wonder, what is UX maturity model? But maybe the more interesting question is, why should you look at a UX maturity model? And before I click on the next slide, so UX maturity model can tell you where your organization is standing in terms of levels of maturity, but it can also help you to identify where to take action and where to improve, let's put it this way. And there's not such a thing as one UX maturity model. There are many out there. And we've just picked the most prominent one, the ones you find on Medium and which have been discussed in various channels or on last week's UX Insights conference. So it's not complete. There are many out there. These are just some good examples. And maybe here on the left, it's one from Envision. I don't know if you've seen it. Envision defines UX maturity in terms of 5 levels. But there you have to take into consideration, it talks mainly about design teams. So UX research is just one role of the design team, so it doesn't really specifically go into details when it comes to your UX research activities. And UX research just comes in level 3, so it's not there straight from the beginning. Then on the top, there is a design research maturity model by Chris Avor. He's more focusing on UX research as such, or UX research maturity. And maybe that's more handy for those of you who are mainly doing UX research. So if you want to get into the nitty-gritty details, go for this one. But if you want to look at a design team as a whole, the Envision might be the right one. Or you actually look at all of them and then take out what's really helpful for you in that case. I don't want to explain them in great detail because we've got a talk from FlixBus coming up, and they're going to talk about the one on the right-hand side, and they're going to share some insights of like what stage or maturity stage they're currently at and how they progressed through the different stages. Maybe also really important information for you guys out there. Envision, for example, says the majority of companies are on level 1. So 41% of the companies are level 1. And then the next, 21% level 2, 21% level 3, and only 5% are on level 5. So just imagine the UX maturity out there. Also, maybe a good indicator, at last week's UX Insight conference, they were saying you roughly need about 12 months to progress from each stage to the next one. So it actually takes time. Maybe that's why it's called maturity. You need to actually gain it and deserve it, maybe. So yeah, we're gonna have an activity based on Chris Evers' model later on, so you get some more insight in what this model is all about. But I would like to welcome Luky on stage.
So, hi everyone. Good evening. Thanks a lot for coming here tonight at FlixBus. Actually, we are very honored to be able to present here to share with you about our journey in maturing UX in our organization. I have received a lot of feedback after talking at some meetups and also at conference. People approach me afterwards. One of you is here. Hi. So making new friends with other UX professionals. Also, they were asking how actually this something similar could be implemented in their organization. Actually, this topic, UX maturity, is a really hot topic right now, so we're happy to share with you tonight. And the topic is that we're going to share about fast forward with research, and it's about how we grow and accelerate UX in our organization, and also how what are the challenges that we were facing in different stages and how we tackle those challenges with different strategies as well. We're going to share this talk with a team. I would like to welcome other team members, Carolina and Pietro. So we are the new kids on the block here. We just formed our team recently, 6 months ago. And of course, user research and UX in general is still very new for FlixBus. So our team itself, it's very interesting because we are very diverse. We have different cultural background and also professional background. Yeah, we'll start. Maybe Pietro, you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Pietro. I'm originally from Italy, but my background is actually in computer science. I came here to do my specialization, my master in human-computer interaction, and then I started working at FlixBus about 7 months ago as a UX researcher. And I'm moving to Carolina.
Hello, I'm Carolina. I'm originally from Brazil, and I used to work with marketing and product development. And I moved to Berlin to make this job transition, and I'm super happy to be a UX researcher now at FlixBus from 6 months now.
So my name is Luky. I'm originally from Indonesia, and I have a design background. So as you can see, we have very diverse background. It makes us interesting to bring different areas of expertise. So our team, we called ourselves Team Swarm, and we belong to a FlixTech organization under FlixBus. We are more or less around 200 people. We are co-located in different offices in Berlin, in Munich, and also in Ukraine. Of course, we adopt agile software development, and we're having our vision of the product development to become user-centric because we believe that we want to strive for customer happiness. And pretty sure most of you here already ride with FlixBus, right? Any of you never ride FlixBus? Oh, okay. Okay, maybe after this you want to. So FlixBus is the leading mobility operator in Europe. We have trains and buses operated in Germany, and we have grown so fast within the 6 years of our establishment in the market. We are now in in new markets in the US, for example, and we're going to Russia as well. And within 6 years, we have already more or less 100 million passengers traveling with us. And we, as I said before, we strive for customer satisfaction. That's where we see ourselves as a team to have this purpose, to support teams and organization to test and validate assumptions through user research so that they can make more confident decisions. Of course, to be able to reach the goal to create a product that our customer will love. All right, so the agenda for tonight, I'm going to start talking about how everything started, how research started here at FlixBus. And also, of course, as we talk about UX maturity, I'm going to guide you through how our journey was and where are we now with the maturity stage. And then Carolina and Pietro will share about scaling research, especially how to integrate research in different stages of product development cycle. And the last part is how do we expect to reach the next stage? Okay, how everything started. Something that I'm always excited to share with people. So 2 years ago, I was hired as a UI UX designer. At that time, when it comes to creating deliverables, delivering design, I always feel like I never feel confident at all about design that I created. I was missing a process or research when I can actually test my design earlier before being developed. And I felt that time that the product decisions in the past they were mainly solely based on assumptions and gut feeling. I would like to maybe simulate the challenges that I was facing in the challenges that I were facing in the past. Imagine I'm a stakeholder and I'm also a designer. So as a stakeholder, I'm coming to the designer called Luky. Hi, Luky. I have this request for you. I want to create a pop-up on this page and with this call to action button. Can you please make it look nice? And as a designer, I would say, okay, but can you please maybe give a little bit context? What kind of problem that you would like to solve? Because we have already a lot of pop-ups, and I think it would hurt the user experience. And he said, nah, no, don't ask me those questions. We don't have time. Let's do it like this, and we'll fix it later. Can you guys resonate about this experience? Because it's a real experience that I had this here at FlixBus before. And also when it comes to having different design solutions, let's say I have A, B, C design solutions, and then no one is really sure which one is going to perform better. Okay, so they said, let's A/B test them. In this way, A/B testing for everything is not good because we kind of lacking understanding of what the user's behaviors are and what the users really need. So these challenges, I felt that something needs to be changed. And also the team setup, we were lacking a lot of UX resources. And as you can see here, these black dots, there's multiple self-organized teams, and the UX department are outside the team. So we were not in a part of product development process. And there was a lack of trust and lack of communication. It was far from ideal how to really become cross-functional. So I decided hey, something needs to be changed here. But doing it myself, it's impossible, you know, it's just not gonna change anything. So I decided, okay, I had to build allies and form a team. I was pairing up with UX designers, one of the UI UX designers, and we kind of pushed this forward together. But if you want to drive this change, I would really ask you to maybe reflect on how is your organization at the moment, how is your management, how is the character of your management, because if you already have the team to as the agent of change, but the management doesn't you don't get the buy-in from the management, I think it would be really hard to make the change. So at first, you need to understand if your management has this open-minded culture and if they would let you to do mistakes, if they would let you to experiments or not. Oops, yeah. Yeah, so it helps you to reach the goal if the management also get buy-in for your initiatives. So those are the challenges, the status quo that I mentioned. So in order to make the change, we need to break the status quo. And now it comes to the UX maturity, is one of the status quos that we need to also reflect in our organization. I'm going to go through each stage quickly. This is something, the model that I took was, I was inspired by a webinar from Nordstorm. They're the retailer in the US. I was using their maturity model because I feel like it resonates a lot with our situation. So in the introduction part, inception part, there's an absence of UX. There's no UI UX activities at all. And in order to go to the next stage, you need to introduce some basics of UX tools and also introduce UX roles. And then on the second stage, UX is seen more as an aesthetics. As I mentioned before, people come to you already with problems, with a solution instead of problem statement. And they want to make you look, they ask you to make things look nice. So those kind of things. And they feel they don't want to invest in UX processes because they don't know how actually it could bring the value. And in this case, to go to the next stage, you need to conduct a lot of usability testing. It helps you a lot to show the value to other people. And then on the third stage, there's an established process where there's a research happening, but it's still not clear where the research could take part in the product development process. In this way, there's a lot of need of quantification, meaning that you measure the impact of your research. And then in the maturing part, UX informs product strategy, means that people already see the value and they come to you with a lot of requests to do research. In this stage, you will see the need of scaling and growing more resources. And in the integrated part, UX is becoming a part of global strategy, means that the research becomes more distributed in the organization. And 2 years ago, we were on the second stage, and I was focusing on pushing the initiatives to go to the next stage, which is adopting the process. And at the moment, after we grow our team, we start to going to the next stage, which is the maturing. And we did everything in 2 years time frame, from creating the awareness, adopting a process, scaling, and democratizing UX. We're going to explain to you after this one. Yeah, from awareness to adopting, it took us 1.5 years to reach to be able to establish a process. We did a lot of usability studies, but as I said, I was hired as a UI UX designer, so I have no idea about how to do research. So I started to learn from articles, from books, and listening to podcasts. I started with doing something really small with unmoderated remote study with our employees. So FlixBus at the moment is like we're 1,000 employees, so we want to make use of them. So we started with this small thing, and we already got something really valuable. Then we start to feel more confident, and then we advance the process. We start to interview our employees still, but doing it more like a moderated on-site study. We did it with a lot of logistics around it, like recruiting, screening, and then also there's a moderator and observer, so we try to do it more proper way. And then after that, we advance our process. We start to invite our customers. We did it even by involving stakeholders, also the team members, like product owners, designers, and developers into this process, where, as you can see here, we screencast the usability tests into other room, and where other people are watching, and they can also already analyze the findings together. So I can see our role as user researcher here. We are more like as a facilitator. So we don't tell people, hey, the user said this, we should change it this way, but we give more recommendation to them and they will decide themselves how they want to proceed. And sharing about UX is also sharing not knowledge, but maybe like exchanging knowledge and learning from each other by attending conferences, meetups. I was also speaking at some meetups and conferences. I see some faces that are familiar here. And we also did some internal knowledge sharing UX workshop, and we also have the blog post. We did a lot of marketing of our research. And we felt that it's good for us to learn from each other, get feedback from other UX professionals, and also to make sure that we are going into the right direction. And sharing about UX, of course, is also sharing about the findings of the usability studies. We create a template that is easy to read, easy to understand, and it has to have a good storytelling so people can understand it quickly. And also sharing the videos is also very powerful so people can see how the users are struggling to use the product. And the